Hello and welcome to the Joy Dealers podcast, where we talk about emotional healing and inner work in general. Today, I have a special friend visiting my podcast. That's Leonie. Hi, Leonie.
Hey, I'm very happy to be here.
I'm very, very happy to have you and not to be having conversations with myself anymore. And I asked you to choose a topic from the list on my website. And what was that topic that you chose?
Living to the fullest, which is my interest at the moment very much.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me where the interest got sparked?
Yes, it's about conversations with friends or even feeling it in myself, feeling resistance towards living, like really feeling the life and living the life, basically, to the fullest. And that's why I really wanted to ask you some questions about it and go deeper into that topic.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it because that happens to be my passion.
Perfect. All right. So living to the fullest is such a nice sentence to hear. But there's often in life resistance towards life itself, right? Where we maybe don't have enough energy or things come up, bubbling up from inside or even from outside. So my question is, what's your go-to method when you feel resistance bubbling up, coming towards you from outside or inside?
Uh-huh. So that's a very good question because resistance is actually the biggest hindrance to living life to the fullest. And we have a lot of patterns inwardly that bring up that resistance. And I think we need to understand the nature of resistance because resistance is actually a way to protect us. And these mechanisms were developed when we were really young to protect us, when we were not able to actually protect ourselves. So they are outdated programs, basically, that at some point in life served our survival. And as a result, it is very important to respect the resistances that come up and not to just try to push them away, but to get very curious and to hear them out. And because when you hear them, they usually then reveal that their mission is actually protection. And once we've met them with curiosity instead of wanting to push them away or get them out of our system, that's when actually the resistance will get even stronger. So the more you try to push it out of your system, the more you will feel the resistance actually. So instead of making a step away from the resistance, it's actually the cure or the possible answer would be to make a step closer to the resistance and take a very close look at the nature of that resistance. And then it usually can dissolve by itself without you needing to do much. You will just watch it dissolve by itself.
Lovely. Okay. It does, of course, if you're going towards resistance, it does sound a bit scary. At first, do you have any tools to help going towards that resistance that you can share?
Yes, of course. I mean, there are some resistances that I would suggest that you can do on your own, but especially if you have the feeling, if you're very, very nervous about going about your resistances, there's probably a good reason why you are that nervous. And that probably means also that there is trauma involved. In that case, I really, really highly recommend that you work with someone and that you don't go towards your resistances on your own, because your protection mechanisms will kick in and will divert your attention your addictions will come up, whatever that addiction is. That can be procrastinating, that can be substances, that can be certain behavioral addictions. All of these will kick in and will not allow you near the resistance. So sometimes it can be good to have someone with you that can navigate with you in there. And then after a while, once you are a bit more familiar with your inner world, you can do a lot on your own. And so I think that then the need of an experienced guide or therapist will not be so important. But in the beginning, I really recommend that you find someone that you trust and that you feel good with, and work with someone.
All right. Yeah, that sounds reassuring kind of guidance or a method by on website, right? No.
Yeah.
All right. And so for me, in this topic, living life to the fullest, what I always come to the conclusion is being present. And that's also such a big word, kind of, that sounds so lovely and easy, but in my experience, it's not that easy after all. So do you have tools that help for anchoring into present? Let's say.
Yes, of course. The easiest way is the breath and the heartbeat. These two for me are the best anchors, because they happen so often in a minute that I like to say in my yoga classes, you receive an invitation every second of a minute by each heartbeat. Our heart beats about 60 times per minute, something like that, or maybe even more. So we get a lot of opportunities. And especially if you're nervous or something, your heart is beating even faster. So you're receiving even more invitations to anchor in with your heart. And just feeling your heartbeat, counting your breath. These two are very, very powerful, because once you start counting, you release any other thought that's going on at the moment, especially if you're having stressful thoughts or panicky thoughts or something like that. I come from panic attacks that I used to suffer from, and the breath, the heartbeat, and the feet are for me my anchors. So when I feel like I'm losing the ground under my feet, I remind myself, feel into your feet, feel the ground underneath your feet, feel the surface. Is it soft or hard? Is it warm or cold? All of these things. Once you start asking yourself these things, you are immediately back in the present and away from the thoughts that are stressing you. Another. Hmm?
I love that.
Yeah.
Actually, counting the beat of the heart is so nice, because you can do that wherever without people even noticing, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes. I mean, you can put your hand on your wrist, for example, and feel your heartbeat there, or you can place it just on your chest very gently, and you will feel it. It's really it's a really easy and powerful method. And another thing to anchor in the presence is also to just look around where you are, to move your eyes from object to object, and just say, I'm seeing a cup, I'm seeing a fridge, I'm seeing a laptop, whatever it is that is in front of you. I'm seeing a tree, I'm seeing a flower, if you're out in nature. These can also help you to come back to the presence and not be so lost in your thoughts and in your ideas about how life should be.
Not H, appreciate a really lovely way. All right, and then I actually only have one last question for you. Okay.
Yeah.
What does for yourself living life to the fullest mean?
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful one. For me, I moved away from wanting to be happy all the time, because that's actually what is suggested, that if you are not happy all the time, there's something wrong with you. And living life to the fullest means living all of its facets and being open to living all of its expressions. And that involves all feelings. That's not just happiness, that's also sadness, that's also anger, that's also irritation. All of these feelings are part of it.
Thank you for that answer. That sounds amazing to me. Especially, it sounds like so much freedom and freeing to be able to live all the emotions, all the feelings. And I think that's something to really go by and practice whenever you can, right? So I love that answer.
Mm.
And I get all the feelings right now, actually. Already feels like living to the fullest.
Oh, thank you so much. That always brings so much joy to my heart when I hear that that words can be so incredibly connecting, and uh, expressing our inner world can really deepen our connections to other human beings. And I think that's just beautiful. And that's also part of living life to the fullest, is being really, really able to be in deep relationship with other people, and with nature, and with everything that exists,
And
that is
in such a deeply accepting way, right? Which sounds so nice and full of love.
it is full of love. Oh, so much love to you. Thank you so much for your inspiring questions. Questions are the best way of getting into deeper contact with ourselves and with others, and that's just, yeah, I value it so much when beautiful questions like these arise. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the conversation and can't wait for the next one.
Bye.
Bye bye.